Hello, friends, and welcome back to Malicious Compliance Stories. It sounds like our OP's neighbors just want the benefits of his fence since they have contacted the HOA directly to see if they have to pay for it. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with the bell turned on so you don't miss the new video every single day. I want to move my new fence inside property line after neighbor won't share cost. We moved in 4 years ago. Our house has a really old split rail fence that we knew we'd have to eventually replace. A year and a half ago, we got a neighbor who asked if they could tie into our fence, and being neighborly, we said sure. But we're going to have to replace it in the next few years. They have 3 dogs. Well, the time has come. I got quotes for aluminum and split rail. The aluminum is $11K, split rail $8K. Since aluminum is permanent, we decided to go with the aluminum. We asked the neighbor if they'd chip in to help pay for the fence. Since they use it, we said even if they give us their share of the split rail, we'd be grateful. Their share of the cheaper fence is $1K. They came back and said that they spoke to the HOA and they're not required to pay for any of the fence. We said correct. We didn't expect anything, but we just wanted to ask. So I said, F it, let's move the fence in a foot onto our property line so they can build their own fence if they don't want to start a neighbor war. But if roles were reversed, we would give them our fair share. Also, I'm petty as hell, so I have that working against me. And our second story. Some say she's still in that line to this day. My family has a great tradition that's probably similar to what a lot of people do. When we celebrate something, a special event like a graduation or promotion, or if we smoke a lot of weed, we like to celebrate it at a Chinese buffet. Maybe it's a combination of our lower middle-class upbringing and our love of eating a crap ton of food at an affordable price at $9.99 or less. It's probably because of the MSG. Now, my brother just graduated college and we were super stoked to get some buffet-style Chinese with some Chipotle-style hibachi, some questionable sushi, and super greasy egg drop soup. Since it's an extra special occasion and he wouldn't be able to afford it soon with his crippling student loan debt, we went to a super fancy buffet restaurant. You knew it was fancy and delicious because they wore ties, and it was $15.99 per head, and they had unlimited subprime rib on weekends for the classy crowd. We just came from the ceremony and were dressed up. Females in cute dresses, males in business casual. I'm wearing a nice white dress shirt and a nice blue necktie. Coincidentally, I'm Asian and about 2 shades of caramel darker than any of the employees. All the FOH staff were uniformed in black shirts, red bow ties with luxurious branding on their aprons. They also had name tags with American names like Paul. Of 10 people, I was the first to arrive. I explained to the host we needed a table. She was very gracious and told me it'll be about 10 to 15 minutes as there are other people waiting with the same idea. She gave me a little buzzer thing. Rachel was great. Cool, right? So I went to take a seat in the area adjacent, specifically set aside and filled with waiting people. This is where I went wrong. I stood up to take a phone call from little bro and moved to the furthest corner of the room opposite of the hostess stand, 'cause, manners. It was a perfect storm, really. A line is formed while the hostess moved back and forth seating the other parties when she came in. She was visually stunning, as in she stunned my peripherals. I can best describe her as a discount rack Barbie with a hint of bedazzle and menthol. She was like a Bratz doll grew up with huge daddy issues and a coke nail. She was determined and she seemed very inconvenienced by normal busy restaurant procedure. We then traded looks. I effed up. Not sure if it was the sunglasses obscuring her vision, but apparently I became the only Oriental in the room. Hey, hey, hey! She scuffed over while simultaneously trying to get me to come to her. I tell my brother to hold on. My internal monologue knew something stupid was going to happen. Yes? Mistake number 3 was acknowledging her. I have been waiting for someone to help me. She spoke like she's been waiting for hours when I literally saw her come in 2 minutes before. I can't help you. I don't She Kanye's me. Look, I just want a gift card. Can you get off the phone and just give me a gift card? Something about gift card is probably what she was saying because my pager buzzed telling me my table was ready. I just walked away because it's better to ignore crazy. Meth Head Madonna followed me, probably still talking to the hostess stand. I promptly told Rachel in a louder than usual voice, "This chick isn't with me." I was ushered to where the lady can see me sit down. We shared eye to sunglasses contact for a second while she processed what happened. It was like she was a baby, and I took her nose. I watched as she moved to the end of an even longer line, defeated, and almost instantaneously my party arrived. I smiled wide while I waved my party over to our table, bypassing her. I forgot my brother was on hold, but he understood. We laughed, we ate, and I bought him a gift card for next time. Simple story, but told in absolute fantastic style, making it an awesome story. And our next story. Scumbag manager. Anyways, I work at a pretty popular fast food restaurant, and I've had my fair share of crazy customers, but this is going to be about my manager. Let's start at the beginning. I get the job at this restaurant as a cashier, and things seem to be going well. I'm getting a hold of working the drive-thru, using the register, all the basic stuff. Eventually, after a couple months, everything I've worked there enough to be quite good at the job, probably one of the best employees there. So after about 4 to 5 months working there, I get approached by my manager asking me if I would like to work as a shift leader. I was sort of surprised because there were a couple of other employees who've been here longer than I have. He told me that it would require more responsibility, I'd have to work later hours, but that I would get a raise. So he told me to think about it, and I did. And the next day I told him I would do it. I felt proud of myself because obviously my boss thought I was good enough for a promotion, but to get one so soon was cool, I thought. So I start training at my new role, doing all the things that a shift leader needs to do, blah, blah. Anyways, I start closing down the restaurant every weekend by myself. When I get my first check after working as a shift leader, I notice no raise at all, still same pay rate, so I think that maybe my raise will just be on my next check because I started officially working my new role in the middle of the bi-weekly pay schedule. I thought, okay, I'll just wait till the next one. Yet again, no raise. So this time I talked to my manager and he says, "What? I told HR to give you the raise a long time ago." So he told me he'd tell them again. Fast forward about 3 months, still no raise. Same old excuse from my manager. I'm pissed at this point. After about the 7th or 8th check, I lost count, I tell him that something needs to happen or I'm out of there. So he tells me that his boss is visiting the store the next day and will tell him about it. I wasn't there when he talked to his boss, but he tells me that they got in a huge argument about it and says he almost got fired because he was basically yelling at him. According to my manager, his boss told him that I need to take a test before I can get my raise as shift leader. That's great. I'd be happy to take a test, no problem. But don't you think that my manager should have known that and made me take it a long time ago? I've basically been working as a shift leader for free for a long time now. So manager gives me this huge booklet to read over and answer questions in, so I read it. I ask my manager for the test so that I can finally get my raise. He says, sure, I'll let my boss know. A week goes by and I ask him about the test. He says, yeah, I told my boss, but I don't think he'll do it right away. So I end up just waiting and waiting for the test to come. The test never comes. My manager acts like everything's normal. And here I am without a raise still. Jump to today. It's been a couple more months since the whole test thing, and I've been working there for about a year now. I've been looking for other jobs all around and can't seem to find anything good, which is why I'm even still working there. But today, I was told by one of my coworkers whose last day is tomorrow, lucky her, that my manager told her that he never was going to give me a raise and that I was never qualified to be a shift leader. That pissed me off so much. Basically, the only reason he wanted me as shift leader was so he didn't have to stay late on weekends to close the restaurant. All this time, he's been lying to me about my raise. My coworker even said that he offered her my shift leader job, but she didn't take it because she knew right then that she would never get it and that he was a scumbag. Sorry this has been a really long post, but I just had to write this down somewhere to rant. But I just don't know how to handle this situation. Do I confront him on it? Is it illegal for him to have me work as the shift leader and not give me a raise? I don't know what I should do. I do know that I'm quitting as soon as I can find a new job, though, that's for sure. That's wrong on so many levels. I have no clue about the company you work for, but in most cases, you can file a complaint about this. You might get the money back if it's a written rule that you get paid X amount for being a shift leader, but still really crappy thing on the part of your manager. And our last story. Neighbor damaged their car pulling into my driveway, wants us to pay for repairs. Neighbor across the street, entire family, uses our driveway to pull into before backing into their own driveway. We've asked them to stop, but they ignore us. They say there's no city bylaw against it, which I believe is correct. In the past, they've damaged our lawn, broken our garbage can, and damaged our recycling/compost bins. Today was garbage day, and I put out some broken shelves at the end of our driveway with the garbage can and other bins to make it easier for the garbage workers to reach. About an hour ago, angry neighbor shows up at our door saying we need to keep our driveway clear at all times, and the trash there damaged their car when they pulled in. He wanted to know where they should send their car for repairs since we'd be paying. To say I'm angry is an understatement. He claimed the first few feet of our driveway is public property controlled by the city, and since it wasn't kept clean and damaged his car, we need to pay. I asked him to leave our property before I called the police. He told me to go ahead. At that point, I closed the door and locked it. I took the initiative and contacted a lawyer myself. Guess what? I don't owe him anything, but I still had to buy and install a security camera just in case. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.